All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Bryan Hayes, Yodog, Jeff O'Neill, Michael DiStefano, a.k.a. Al's brother. What an afternoon we're about to have. Great to see you guys.
Great to see you guys. Great to be amongst royalty.
Royalty.
Al's brother, you got a big plan for us later this hour, right?
I do.
Like, we've been really promoting this heavily. What are you going to basically take us through your plan later this hour?
So it's Masters Week. We take that very seriously here on OverDrive, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing that I take most seriously, I take food very seriously. I'm what you would call a foodie. And there's been a lot of talk about Masters dinners. And a couple of weeks ago, I think I was on Gameplay, and we were power ranking when Scheffler put out what his dinner was going to be. We were kind of talking about some of the best Masters dinners that we've seen in the course of the last few years. So we kind of thought, hey, why don't we kind of get something cooking, put together a power ranking, get back into the Al's Brother power ranking.
How did you, what value system did you come up with? Because these are scopes around the world and different avenues. How did you do the grading process to this?
This is based on your palate, I'm assuming.
Based on my
I don't
palate,
see you as like a yellowfin tuna type guy.
No.
How did you put value in that?
Me neither.
Yellowfin tuna, I don't think, is something a lot of people enjoy, to be quite honest with you. So yellowfin tuna does not show up on my ranking right away. That gets about a C automatically.
All right,
automatically,
so this
rated a
is
C.
completely subjective. This is your list, your palate, maybe what you would look for on a 5-star cruise line.
100%.
Like if you're on one of the higher end cruises.
And I see this menu, how jazzed do I get off this menu? That's basically what the criteria is.
By the way,
we'll get to that later on.
Is there nonstop buff? Like you can have a feed whenever you want?
Whenever you want.
How do you how do you operate like that?
2:30 in the morning. It's glorious.
So you don't have to order it though. It's just prepared. It's waiting for you.
Ready to go. It's like a little pizza buffet. You go to a spot like on the Royal.
You can roll out of bed at 4 a.m. and go have a feed.
You could if you wanted to. Yes.
So
24-hour room service. The buffets aren't 24 hours, but room service is, and the pizza you got till 3. The pizza buffet.
So what is the latest you have put in an order? When you're in your room, have you done something where you realize this is pushing it a little bit, and really I shouldn't be doing this?
So I just got back from a cruise last week. Me and my girlfriend, we had a great time.
The whole world is aware that you were just on a cruise.
Yeah.
Yes, continue.
We did something that was so offside on the final night. Final night. So we were
Food related.
So we had a great time last night. We were in the casino. We had our drinks, having a lot of fun, saying goodbye to all the friends that we had made. And we go, and as we typically do at the end of the night, you go upstairs, grab a couple slices of pizza, you go to bed. And then we made the suggestion, hey, we're going to be sticking around in Texas tomorrow. We're going to the beach. Why don't we get a couple of sandwiches for ourselves to take off the boat tomorrow?
Like a picnic you were planning for.
Yeah, a little picnic or something.
Okay.
And then we got cooking with the menu.
Food from a cruise ship. Smuggling Sandies into your luggage.
We ordered like 2 grilled cheeses. I don't know why we ended up ordering a whole pizza. We didn't even end up eating it. It got left behind. But we ordered another full pizza. Ordering food when you're intoxicated is just not a smart thing to be doing.
A
couple orders of chicken wings, and
oh my God.
It was just a feed that nobody needed. We ate maybe 10% of the food.
Okay.
But it was...
were you in Galveston? You were in Galveston, right?
Correct.
Okay, because that's the place that Charles Barkley chirps all the time. And
all the time.
Says that the beach is dirty and the water's dirty. I've never been to Galveston.
Yeah.
How would you describe Galveston, Texas?
I would say Chuck's is pretty on par.
He's onto something?
The beach that I was at, there was seaweed everywhere. It was kind of disgusting. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I think he's somewhat correct, but then I heard that there was a flood or something a few days before we got there. So maybe that's what it's like, but I don't know. It was a pretty dirty beach.
Okay. All right. Still good. Cruise line. Everything's all good. I'm glad we established that out of the gate. So, Al's brother, you will have your power rankings coming up, and then you will lay out what you believe should be the supreme champions dinner, because I guess that happens tonight at the Masters. And beautiful weather today down there. It was great on TSN. They were live on the range. Like, you got to be a golf freak. I know you spent your day doing it. I sat there. My wife and I, we went out in the morning, and I kind of got dragged out. She gave me do you want to come? And I was like, I really would rather just sit at home and watch these guys hit golf balls. And I realized I'll come. We'll go out. So we went out. We ran a couple errands. I came home. She had to go back out. I'm like, I'm not going back out twice. I am watching these guys hit golf balls on a range.
Yeah. And then watch 4 other guys drool over them and talk about them. And you're glued to the TV and you can't stop watching.
I had to. Like McIlroy was on the range and they were doing full breakdowns of every shot this guy hit. And I was so captivated.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is brilliant TV.
Yeah.
Brilliant television.
And dude, I got to a point, I think it might be age, because when they first started showing the on the range part of the program, I'm like, come on, guys. Like, this is going to a new low. And years later, I got to watch.
I have to see it, man. I will.
I want to see what trinkets they pull out.
Yes.
I want to see if they got a range. I want to see if they're doing something. And there's the best player in the world who uses the same club with a grip master, this thing that helps your grip, and that's what he hits balls with.
Yeah.
A 7-iron with a grip that helps, nobody uses it, and that's all he does.
Well, Scheffler has said that countlessly, that the thing you need to get right first is your grip.
Yes, and he's 100% right.
Dial your grip in, and then your club is where it's supposed to be, and then you take it from there. And that's the number 1 player in the world. And guys like me are like, shut up, Scheffler. You don't know what you're talking about. It's more about your stance or the hips or whatever. Yeah. It's, the head movement and all that. But, the boys are down there. They're off and running at Augusta National. We're going to have our picks tomorrow. We got a big Leaf game tonight. Interestingly enough, Joseph Woll will play. We were talking about this yesterday. Jonas posed the question, who would you go with? And the reasoning, I actually do think it makes sense. Berube said Stolarz has played his former team 3 times already. Yeah. We're going to throw Joseph Woll in there. I think that's reasonable. I also think it sets up for Stolarz against Tampa, who are rocking right now. And I think you want to get a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in terms of chasing the division, the game tomorrow night is more important than the one tonight. Like, the Panthers are not catching the Leafs. Even if the Leafs lose tonight, they're not going to catch them. I believe if the Leafs win tonight, or certainly in regulation, they will clinch home ice. Guaranteed top 2 seed in the division. There are some guys returning for Florida, like Barkov will be back tonight. Forsling's back. Reinhart. All of a sudden, Sam Bennett's done for the year.
And they care again, apparently.
Yeah, well, and also Sam Bennett, they go, he's done, but he'll be ready for game 1. Like, don't worry about it. It's a nick or a bruise, and he's going to be fine.
Which is good for the Leafs, because Sam Bennett is a pain in the Leafs' ass.
Big time.
He always is all over the place, running people over, scoring goals. He always plays well against the Leafs.
Yes, and I think if you're the Leafs, what is clear, and we've been discussing it on this show. You'll talk about it on the panel tonight. I was doing it yesterday with Jay, SportsCenter. Everyone's discussing who is it better to play in the first round, and everyone can have a different answer on it. I think if you're the Maple Leafs, your mentality simply has to be try to win every single game coming home. Yeah. Like, try to be ideally health, and take that into consideration if anyone's banged up, and that's why McCabe and Camp aren't even on the trip.
Yeah,
they're not playing. Don't play them. Don't force anybody in, especially someone of significance, if they're not at 100% or close to it. But try to peak. Try to win every single game coming home. Peak, feel good about yourself, get that top seed, and let the chips fall wherever they fall.
About 3 weeks ago, James Duthie tried to talk me into a frenzy when he was all concerned about coming out of the break, how the Leafs were playing. And I had to calm the masses. And he said, are you actually being the voice of reason? I said, I don't mind a blip right now, if you recall, because it gives you chance to reload and refocus and get your game in order right before the playoffs. And that's exactly what they've done. Now I'm afraid that they might have taken it too far, and they've had some success, and there might be another mini blip before the playoffs. So the key is just keep the train rolling. Even if there's an upset or you have an off game, just get back to if they don't play well tonight, get back to it tomorrow night in Tampa. Mm-hmm. That's who you are right now, and that's who you're going to be in the playoffs, and that's your identity. Something that they probably struggled with in the last 6 years when we're talking about them,
for sure,
not having success in the playoffs. It's like you would say, what is people? I think I heard Craig Button on SportsCenter or throughout the year, what is their? We've been asking it all along. What is their identity? They kind of got one right now, where there's a mix of hard work and a forecheck and solid goaltending and big defensemen that play for keeps, and some dynamic goal scorers up front that can make things happen. Last time I checked, that's a pretty good identity if you can stick to it.
Absolutely. If your identity is you're a mature, serious hockey team
that have some lethal stars up front that can single-handedly take over hockey games, I kind of think that's what you're looking for.
That's what you want.
If you look at the Tampa Bay Lightning and their marches to the finals, big defensemen, strong, solid goaltending, and some forwards that could absolutely destroy you, and they did on a nightly basis. That's what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Tampa did it again last night. They rolled into the Garden and basically turned the lights out on the Rangers.
Yeah.
That Rangers team, man, that's something somebody's got to explain that one because
that's a mess.
Yeah,
it is a
It
mess.
turned so quick. That's the thing. So
they won the President's Trophy a year ago.
And went 6 games with the Panthers, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like conference final pushing. Like what's going to happen here? Maybe they're in a cup final in a few days. And like their defensive play last night, we're watching some of these highlights. Absolutely pathetic in front of their own net. Like soft, there's no pushback. You talk about identity. They have one, and it's one that is very faltered.
Like Braden Point, who's 5'9" and a hell of a player.
Look at this.
Like
leaning on him, not pushing him.
No, they're
not
farting on him. They're breathing on him.
Yes.
And it's like, you've got to get him out of the way. He's the only threat there.
That play is crazy,
horrendous.
man.
You've seen some performances in there. I think they had a Calgary loss. They had a Vancouver loss possibly in there. And it was like, the Leafs loss in there.
They put up like 14 shots in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
It was
That's
despicable.
right. Calgary, and you're right. And
Yeah.
that's what they've been that all season, man. They've been showing who they are all season long.
Well, think about their season. It started off where there was noise about getting Trouba out of there, getting Kreider out of there. They got to get this goaltender signed. They got to get him locked up. And maybe that was the motivation for getting Trouba out of there because they needed the money. I don't know what the hell that was going on. But it's all of a sudden a mess. And it seems like everybody doesn't like each other. It is a complete mess what's going on in New York.
Yeah, it is. And what it's done is put it on a platter for the Montreal Canadiens, and everything is coming up Habs right now because the big news in hockey today is that Ivan Demidov is on his way to Montreal. So he's been playing in the KHL. He was their 5th overall pick a year ago.
Dude, if that guy shows up there and starts lighting it up in his electric, that city will be on fire.
They are going to go crazy because everything sets up. They've got Detroit at the Bell Center tonight. If they beat Detroit, they basically are in.
Yeah.
It's basically over. And especially if you win in regulation tonight, it's over. Because the Rangers aren't a serious team. I think Columbus is fading. I think they've run out of gas. The Islanders, I don't think they've got enough. It's basically if Detroit beats the Habs in reg, you might have a race down the stretch. If Montreal beats them tonight, then it's over. The Habs are in, Ottawa's in, and it's a truly incredible story that we've gotten here with both of those teams. You know, and I think we can discuss this today and throughout the next week and a half as we get closer to the playoffs, which team or which fan base has the right to either puff their chest out more out of those two or be more disappointed if you're in Buffalo, if you're in Detroit. Like, these teams, the Habs were in the Cup final in 21 and then bottomed out and they're back in.
Yeah.
And Buffalo hasn't even come close to the playoffs, and neither has Detroit. But this Ivan Demidov kid, you're right about the Bell Center and Habs fans. Every time I talk to people in Montreal, I'm sure you get the same thing. All they want is they want stars. Yeah. They are begging for stars.
But their connection with the Euro superstar, you saw the buildup and the love affair with Laine. And he's only been like a power play type specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Kovalev years?
Kovalev,
there?
even Kovalchuk. Remember when he signed there when he was like 38?
Dude,
they loved him.
They just, for some reason, it's like a connection. I don't know why that is. I don't know the history of the city, why they're in love with it. It's probably hard not to be when they're scoring goals and they're all over the ice. But if he can get there and fit in and play well right away, that city will be on fire.
They're going to go nuts.
Oh, well, the last 3 weeks, anytime you talk about the Montreal Canadiens or hear people talking about them and how well these players are, like Slafkovsky's coming on. You've got Suzuki playing at a high level. Caulfield's up to 35, 36 goals. This young group is really ascending, and there was always that little footnote, and wait till they get Demidov. Now they got him, which came out of nowhere. Like I thought that when he dropped in the draft last year, the thought process was, he's going to be in Russia. He's got that contract with St. Petersburg for a couple of years. And all of a sudden today we hear, actually, he's coming over to the NHL. And it's a perfect timing. Team's on a roll. 5 straight wins. And now they're getting the number 1 prospect in hockey. It must feel pretty damn good to be a Canadian fan, right?
It must feel very good. And listen, at the same time, if you're in that room, you're looking around saying, really, this guy's going to show up and step right into the lineup? Where if you're Suzuki, you love it. If you're Caulfield, but there's going to be...
if you're a player and you know what's going on and you watch him and you're like, this guy could help us and he's really good, you're like, he better be in the lineup.
Well, exactly.
But some other guy that's coming out is like, oh, really?
That's the whole thing. Like, there's some grizzled
veteran. And the Waz of the world are like,
really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this kid shows up
nice
out of nowhere.
to see you.
Hey, nice meeting you. Am I playing tonight? So yeah, Montreal's got Detroit tonight, and I can't imagine he'll be there. But if he is in town, I doubt it. Again, it just went down. He just got released.
Yeah.
But this would have been in the works for a while. If he's there and they show him on the screen, the building will explode tonight. And at a minimum, they're going to announce it. And I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know what his English is like. I can't imagine he speaks French, but you never know. If he even has a message that is going to be up on the Bell Center's big screen tonight, like, go Habs, go. I'll see you later in the week. That place is going to go crazy tonight.
Do the old Hanjim Ryu. Bonjour.
Yes.
Hello, bienvenue. Just give him a couple of words.
All you need.
That's all you
Who
need.
does Montreal play tonight?
They got Detroit.
So if they're up 4-0, you just go right to the Jumbotron with a vid in a private plane where he says, "See you soon, Montreal," and everyone will go nuts.
Oh, it's going to be so good,
Bad
man.
one.
Like, I give them credit because that city and that market, they're on fire right now, and they deserve to be because the Habs have been a great, great story. The Habs have won 5 in a row going into this game tonight. So more on that later this afternoon. Mike Johnson will join us. He's calling the game in Tampa tonight. We got Ed Jovanovski coming up to get a read on what's going on with Florida, like all these different injuries, the load management. What can we expect out of them tonight and coming down the stretch? So Jova will join us, confirm or deny later this afternoon as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. Leafs in action tonight. The Habs are in action tonight. The Leafs will be in Tampa tomorrow. Jays looked good last night. Man, it looked freezing cold at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Like, so cold. And you can tell when no one's in the stands and the people that are look miserable the whole time. You can tell it's just freezing. And all the players, and the home team lost. Yeah. But Springer with a couple big hits again last night.
Barrios was good.
Barrios was really good defensively. They've been outstanding. Vladdy, a couple of hits and a walk.
Barrios bitched about a perfect call because it helped him later in the game where he punched that guy out near the end. I think the ump was like, I owe this guy one. And
I think so, too.
Yeah.
That was so borderline.
Bitching. It was the perfect bitching.
It got him out of the inning, too, and that was it for him.
That was outside of the zone. The one that got him out of the inning.
It was like, but to O's point, I think it was just because I think the ump knew, I might owe you one.
Yeah.
And he got a borderline call, and it got him out, and it got them through the inning, and I think it was the last pitch he threw.
It was. Yeah, that's the beauty of the human element, man.
Yeah.
The human element, you really start to grind on them,
We got one more year of it, boys.
At least one more, I hope.
Yeah.
I don't want to see umps ever go anywhere. I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen. But I'm not going to celebrate that day. That's not going to be a good day for me, Alice brother. Mike Johnson coming up just after 5. Confirm or deny in about an hour. Here is a longtime Panther. Did he go first overall in your draft?
He sure did.
First overall in your draft. So that he's like the face of what, the 95 draft?
Well, maybe we both were.
the co-face of the 95 NHL draft.
What Bobby Mack was saying.
And Panthers TV analyst Ed Jovanovski. Are you cool with sharing the billboard 95 draft with the O-Dog?
94 draft.
94. My apologies.
Yeah, it taxed another year on our age, but yeah, 94 draft.
Okay.
Months ago.
You were in it. You couldn't have corrected me. It was your draft.
You had me convinced it was the 95 draft. I was like, yeah, it was the 95 draft.
Yeah.
Well, it was 94 in Hartford.
There you go. Anyway, good catching up with you. Like this is a big one for Toronto. Like the Leafs just continue to try to plug towards the top of the division. I'm curious what your viewpoint of the Panthers are right now, Ed, in terms of like what matters to them the rest of the regular season.
Well, according to the coach, I think just getting better in the health department. You know, I think a handful of guys we saw last game in Detroit, sat a few guys. Looks like a few guys are back coming in the lineup here today. I really, to be honest with you, I really think that it doesn't matter who they play. You know, I think getting their game played hasn't been the stretch for the guys, having a very difficult time finding the back of the net. But playing solid in other areas, just can't finish off things. But, you know, I think in these last stretch of games, just getting your game right and where the chips fall is what you're going to see in the first round.
Eddie, do you think it's some kind of a blessing in disguise? Not that you ever want to see what happened to Ekblad or Tkachuk being injured, but just you mentioned resting a couple guys lately, but for a team that's been to back-to-back finals, it could be a blessing. These guys just not having the load on them and just being rested before the playoffs start.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think if you look at Matthew, being out with his injury, and then with Eki with his unfortunate thing that went down there, I think when you look at him, he plays a lot of minutes, 25 to 27 a night, the hard minutes, against teams' top lines, and he's done it for years. And then you look at, the other guys. I mean, Reinhardt, he with the Four Nations, Bennett with the Four Nations, playing a lot of hockey. So I think if you have the ability to, sit some guys, and I think the coach prefaced, listen, we're getting these guys right. It's not a rest thing. It works hand in hand, but I think getting their health right is the most important thing. And I think heading into the playoffs, you want to feel good about your game, and not only that, you got to have some energy. And the team's played a lot of hockey over the last few years, so I think any time you can give some guys a little of a breather, I think the coach is going to do so.
With Ed Jovanovski ahead of Leafs Panthers tonight down in Florida, you've seen the Leafs a lot. Obviously, you saw them a couple of years in the playoffs, a couple of years ago in the playoffs when Panthers beat them in 5, and the Leafs are trying to get over that hump and try to do something different this year in the playoffs. How would you assess the way they're built and the way they're playing today compared to what you've seen out of this group the last 2 or 3 years?
Well, I think the big thing is bringing a Chief in. I think he's done a wonderful job there, and I think paying attention to the other side of the puck on the defensive side of things, I think is really helped them. And Tanev being that stabilizer back then, McCabe solid defensively. You got to keep the puck out of your net. I think the goalie situation has been really good. Stoley's been excellent there. It seems like they're going to run with him. And I think they're star players. I think when you want to win championships, I think you got to be responsible on the other side of the puck, and I think that has been driven home to these star players. And usually, you would have Toronto trying to win a 5-goal game, where I think the mindset is winning 2-1, 3-2 games, and it has gone a long way for them this year. You look to translate that into the playoffs for them.
Well, you got to watch Anthony Stolarz, who you just mentioned, having a great year, when he was out in Florida. Did you expect that he was going to blossom into this if given a chance to be a starter for a team?
Well, that's it. I think you're just getting the opportunity. I think we all know the workload that Bob carries here, and I think any time that Stoley played, he was excellent. And you hear the guys talk, you see him in practice, he's always there taking the extra shots as the number 2 guy. So I think it was really fitting for him, winning a cup here, having that confidence behind him, and now going into a situation in Toronto where it was kind of up in the air for the goalie situation. So I think him, taking that and running with it. Unfortunately, he got hurt early on this year because he was playing great, up to that, and he's a player again. So it's good to see he's a great kid. And a lot of pressure on the goaltenders in Toronto.
There always is. But I'm curious, too, to get your thoughts on this, because after the game the other day, put up a shutout, and, his teammates keep coming out. I remember Mitch Marner was saying how Stolarz is the most vocal goaltender that he's ever played with. And, you played a long time in the league. I'm curious to get your thoughts on how you think that might help his teammates and players, and if you had experience with goalies who were vocal versus not.
Well, I think it's a huge difference. I think anytime going back for a puck and hearing a voice, you don't want to complicate things, but you obviously, as a D-man, recognize what's going on with your partner or goaltender trying to sort things out for you. So, I played goaltenders where they don't say a word for the whole year, and I played with goaltenders that don't shut up. I prefer the ones that don't shut up because you're less plastered along the glass going back for a puck.
Eddie, we've talked about the Leafs and who the Florida Panthers are playing tonight. If there was an option of Ottawa, Tampa, or the Maple Leafs, who do you, if you gave some of the players some truth serum, who do you think they would want to play in the first round?
Well, that's it's kind of been asked that quite a bit. I think when I said it earlier on, I really think the Panthers really don't care. You look how Tampa's playing right now in their power play, they're a deadly team. Right? But I honestly think, and I'm going to take truth out of the coach saying they just want to get their game right, and the players are saying it too. I think it really doesn't matter to them. I think you got to get through all these good teams to win it. So I think they're going to do their best just to play their best hockey here moving forward and see where the chips lay.
With Ed Jovanovski, what have you made of Brad Marchand and the way he has kind of found his way into the dressing room and into the lineup? Like, how comfortable does he look as a Florida Panther?
Well, I think it's taken a little bit. I think we're going to kind of pick apart that here today on our show. It's kind of been that moving part. We were trying to find somewhere where March is going to fit in. And I think there hasn't been kind of everyone in the lineup to really kind of look at things. So coaches kind of moved them kind of everywhere. But I think it's been 6-7 games now. I think, you like to see him kind of find the back of the net. He was brought in here to provide offense and that leadership. So I think these real next games, again, are really big for him to start feeling it. I know he's done so much in this game, and he's won, and he's been that, ultimate pro. But you like to see him find the back of the net. But overall, I mean, talking to the guys and seeing that he's fit in nicely. He likes the group, and I think it gives him another opportunity here to some playoff success.
Leafs Panthers tonight down in Florida. Should be a fun one. Enjoy the game. Thank you for doing this.
All right, guys. Anytime.
There's Ed Jovanovski of the 1994 NHL draft.
Before the draft, we had to do a bunch of stuff, and me and Eddie were always together. And we ended up at this golf course in the Hamilton area. And I was driving the golf cart, and there was a miscommunication where his ball was and where he was getting out. And he thought he was getting out, and I was stopping, and I didn't stop. Dude, I tossed this guy like he was rolling, and I'm like, this guy could have blown his shoulder out a month before the draft.
Wow.
And we pissed ourselves laughing about it, but I'm like, that could have went so wrong.
Yeah, those can be very dangerous.
When you get the stutter step and then the cart goes again and the guy flies out of the cart.
Oh, yeah. Like, you get a quick turn or something like that and someone flies out, that can be really, really dangerous. What a story that would have been. Ed Jovanovski, the presumptive first overall pick, blows out his ACL in golf cart accident.
With Jeff O'Neill,
driven by the guy
prospect
who could now go first overall in a conspiracy. Yeah. Imagine that happened. He got injured and the Panthers go, screw it, just take O'Neill. Like how different your life would be.
He would have played maybe 20 years in Florida. No, where he ended up going to, he was in Florida.
Jovanovski?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was in Florida. Yeah. He was, remember when he first got there, him and Lindros?
Was crushing everyone. He was the only guy that would stand up to Eric Lindros.
Absolutely.
Jovo Cop, one of the best nicknames of all time.
Such a great one. And that was a great Rock'em Sock'em segment. Remember Cherry did the one segment when it was just the two of them. They played in a playoff series. I think that year when Florida went to the Cup final, I think in 96.
Well, dude, you saw him do that to Eric Lindros. You should have seen what he was doing to 15-year-old little.
Oh, in junior, he must have been destroying people.
My God.
Yeah, because he wasn't like a burner or an offensive guy. Like, he was just pure meat and potatoes. Come down my wing, and you're going to take an absolute
I think
beating.
he started playing hockey when he was 13.
Yeah, it was late in his life.
Yeah.
Very late in his life.
The guy goes first overall in the NHL draft.
Wow, what a story. And when he showed up again, he was just mashing everybody.
Yeah. And could play, too. He could play on the power play, move the puck.
Yeah, of course.
Really good player.
You have to at first overall, but he wasn't Cale Makar. That wasn't the expectation.
No, but damn good player.
Yeah, and again, I think he's right. And I think, I was talking about this yesterday in terms of the Panthers and them dealing. They're playing with house money because they've won before. And I've had some people say, you got to explain what you mean by that. What I mean by that is that they have faith in who they are because they've won before. They know they've won. A lot of these guys, they already have the ring in their back pocket. They've already done it. So the idea that they feel like they have to peak, that they have to prove themselves during the regular season, that they have to avoid a certain team in the first round.
It's the same as the Tampa Bay Lightning. The third time around, they were just like, we're going to do what we do, man.
Exactly. You are going to be afraid of us, and we know it.
Yeah.
So whoever we play, we're going to be ready to play. And that's my point when I say that they're cool with load management. They're cool with I don't think they care if they win another game during the regular season. They could lose out the rest of the way And I really don't think they care.
No.
I totally agree with that.
And that's where the Leafs, they don't have that luxury. I don't believe Washington has that luxury. Washington's got to win and have some mojo going into the playoffs. They got to prove themselves. The Leafs, I think it's important for them to have home ice, to maybe win the division and have that type of mojo moving into the playoffs, where Florida's in a completely different situation. They are going to be very comfortable, very confident in whoever they play, and if they're healthy, and it sounds like they will be, they are going to be a beast.
They have their recipe where it's just, Bob, you do your thing in net, Barkov, you do your thing up front, Bennett, Reinhart, you chip in with the goals, and we play our system, we overwhelm teams, and let's see if it keeps working.
Yeah.
Because why would we stop?
Why wouldn't you have confidence in that?
Yeah.
Like, it's an incredible luxury to have.
I'll say this too, like, they've lost 5 in a row, but I was like diving into the numbers. We might get into this with Johnny, I'd imagine. They have the best expected goals over the last 5 games, despite losing all 5. So, like, the process is there. Their shooting percentage at 5-on-5 has been 3%.
Right, they can't score.
They can't score. They're averaging like 1.4 goals per game in these last 5. So I think it's a lot of bad luck. Their stars aren't playing. The guys who produce, they'll be fine come playoff time.
That's
they'll be back. They'll be ready. Locked.
It's terrifying, man. And Bobrovsky is a big game player who's playing well.
Watch him play tonight. He'll be dialed in at home.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's scary, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like Vasilevsky last night wasn't tested much, but won. Hellebuck again last night. That was a big win for Winnipeg last night.
Yeah.
Huge win for them because they're in Dallas tomorrow night. That's a massive game. And if they lost to St. Louis last night, it'd be a completely different vibe going into that. But that's what is scary. Like that is, if you're the Leafs and if you're Ottawa, Linus Ullmark's been really, really good. Their goalies have been great. But those two are of a different caliber. And those two have done something in the playoffs that Stolarz hasn't done, Wall hasn't done, Ullmark hasn't done, Forsberg hasn't done.
Not even close.
No, there's very few players that have ever done what they've done over the last 2 or 3 years. 5 years, I guess, if you look at Vasilevsky.
Dude, it's a separator. Like, you can win a Vezina, you can have great regular seasons, you could win a playoff round. But to do what you just mentioned, what those 2 other guys did, that's a completely different area.
Just like Vasilevsky, 3 years in a row, every other night was in net playing and standing on his
I don't think he came out at all.
He never came out.
Isn't that crazy? How confident we feel with the goaltending here in Toronto this year compared to any other season. Yet, if you stack it up against their 3 possible playoff opponents,
not close.
They're
fourth
team.
Yeah,
they're fourth.
Exactly. That's going to be a reality. Whoever they play in the playoffs, in the first couple of rounds, they're going to have the weaker goaltender. Doesn't mean that he has to play worse or that he will play worse. Maybe he matches them or plays better. That's possible. But in terms of their history and the reputation, you're going to be chasing that position. That's just a reality. Mike Johnson in 25 minutes, confirm or deny in about an hour. Al's brother is going to have his power rankings. You have broken down, you talk about expected numbers and breaking down the statistics.
Yeah.
You have looked over all of the champions' dinners, and you have a 3-pack, the greatest 3 champion dinners of all time. And then on top of it, you're going to trump all of them, punk all of them, and say, actually, this is how you operate with a champions dinner at Augusta National.
I can't wait. Coming up next, boys.
All right, Al's brother, I can't wait either. And I can tell you, everyone can't wait. We're looking forward to this. A lot of anticipation. Al's brother is on the clock next.
I would like to bring to the podium Mr. Fred Ridley Jr. Dude,
Go ahead.
That's Fred Ridley Jr.
Yeah, you look basically as distinguished as Fred Ridley Sr.
Senior.
And he was speaking yesterday. Look at Al's brother. Look how dialed in that jacket is. That looks like a real jacket. Who did you steal that from?
That's royalty, man.
Did you get that?
I got
Who
this
sent that
down
to you?
in Augusta, Georgia.
That legitimately looks like something I would picture Jack Nicklaus
Dude,
with.
I think if you put a white dress shirt and a yellow tie and you wheel down there and said to somebody, hey, go get my car. No, go get my car. I'm ready to go. You could walk right in and have your way with everything.
I totally agree. Like the gates would open for you. Magnolia Lane, they would be like, go ahead, man.
Yeah, just get in a Mercedes and wear that jacket and say, you know who I am, move aside.
Get me in. I got the jacket. What are you doing?
Okay, Al's
Get
brother.
you fired here.
This is your big moment. All right, so how do you want to do this? Because you're going to break down the 3 best champions dinners of all time.
Let's
now, these
go.
are
We're going to go 3-1, and then you're going to come over the top with the King Daddy Topper.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And you're going to tell us which player actually supplied this dinner in the past. Because Scheffler's on the clock tonight. down at Augusta. Maybe you have time to get there right after the show. We'll see. But go ahead, House Brother. Number 3, the third greatest Champions Dinner of all time, courtesy of Fred Ridley Sr.
Coming in at number 3 is Jordan Spieth's dinner in 2016.
Wow.
Jordan Spieth had a little surf and turf action.
Yes.
Morton Bay Bugs lobster. He had a great little Australian Wagyu beef New York strip.
Okay.
A great appy, artichoke and arugula salad with calamari. And little sauté spinach and onion cream mashed potatoes, which I absolutely love.
Okay, so you got Jordan Spieth at number 3. That surprises me a little bit. He was very young.
What got your attention about that one where you said, I like it right off the bat? Was it the steak or the potatoes?
To me, it was the steak. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't miss on a good steak, man.
No. There's a common theme here. A common theme.
There's a lot of red meat we're about to witness here.
There's a common theme here where there is going to be copious amounts of red meat.
Okay,
on that one.
Spieth is at number 3. Who do we have at number 2?
Yeah. Adam Scott. Sorry, that was Adam Scott's menu. I apologize. That was Adam Scott's menu.
Okay, wait a minute. We just screwed up the menus. We have the wrong menu.
I read out Adam Scott's menu.
Okay.
That was Adam Scott's menu.
Okay. And is Adam Scott at number 2 or was he at number 3?
Adam Scott comes in at number 2. At number 3, sorry. This is Jordan Spieth at number 2.
Okay.
So this is Spieth's menu right here. I apologize. But this one, to me, was absolutely exceptional. Look at that. Heirloom tomatoes with cucumbers and red onion.
Yeah.
Nice balsamic vinaigrette. Corn muffins. It's a great looking
corn
salad.
muffins. What are they? What is
Love
that?
A corn muffin? You've never had a corn muffin?
What is a corn muffin? I don't know what that is.
Talk to me.
It's just like corn and it's baked into like a bread.
It's a
it's a
biscuit
muffin.
type.
It's like a biscuit.
Are you talking corn bread? Corn bread.
Basically, but it's a
I know
muffin.
corn
It's not a
bread, but
cornbread.
I've never heard of corn muffin.
That's because you don't have the palate of a sophisticated man such as Jordan Spieth. He made it into a muffin instead.
Can't
of
argue
regular
against
little
that.
bread.
Okay.
But here's where it takes the cake. Look at that authentic Texas barbecue. Little beef brisket, smoked half chicken, pork ribs, barbecue baked beans, nice bacon and chive potato salad.
Okay.
With a nice little veggie dinner on the side.
What do you make of the chocolate chip cookie as a dessert, though? That to me is an amateur play.
No, I'm a fan.
That's a slap in the face to champions.
No, it goes with the
You've got
dinner.
Gary Player in there. You can't give him a cookie with some ice cream.
This is his one cheat night of the year. Stadler and Woozy are in there buckled. Do you think they want a cookie at the end of the night? What are they, 5 years old?
They have
House
shared
brother?
a bottle of brown liquor, and they want a dessert.
I'm sorry, dude. That should not be in the top 10. You can't.
Really?
You can't
because of the dessert?
A chocolate chip cookie?
A good chocolate chip cookie. A warm chocolate chip cookie.
I don't care how
in
warm
a pan,
it is.
Some great vanilla ice cream on top.
No.
It's delicious.
House brother,
fantastic.
you can't have a great champion's dinner with an amateur dessert like that.
I believe you can when you got it filled with a nice beef brisket.
I understand what else is
chicken.
there. Everything else looked phenomenal. I'm sorry, he didn't land the
dessert?
plant. Yeah, like that's, like if that's a gymnast, he buckled a little bit on the drop. You know what I mean? Like he kind of rolled an ankle there.
Hey, this is
I don't love that.
personal preference.
All right. Apologies, but I'm getting animated here. Go ahead. Give us the number 1 greatest champions dinner of all time, courtesy of UL's brother.
The best champions dinner was Hideki Matsuyama's in 2002.
Really?
He had assorted sushi, some sashimi, yakitori chicken skewers to start.
Ooh. You would love that, That's right up your alley.
I mean, fine Japanese dining is such an underrated piece of foodery.
Yeah.
It is.
It is phenomenal
divine.
stuff.
I don't see you as that type of guy.
No?
Like, I see you laying out a pizza like you do on the cruise. Like, look at this menu right here.
Yeah,
Look at
this is way too sophisticated for you, Els, brother. I have to be honest. I think you're lying to us here.
That's the A5 Wagyu beef ribeye.
That's
what put this top for me.
You saw that.
At number
you said
one,
I'm all in 2022. I'm all in.
You could have had slop as your appetizer. You give me an A5 Japanese Wagyu ribeye.
Yeah, that's valid.
I'm all in.
You're right. I mean, that's a serious piece of beef. Like, you can't go wrong with that. That would
What
cost
is
a
it
lot of
about
money.
that is a
Wagyu
sophistic-
ribeye?
I don't know,
Is it
but
just
Oh, it's so perfectly marbled. It's so tender. Have you ever had a Wagyu ribeye? Oh,
I don't believe
I
you
have
gotta
not
hit up a
either.
steakhouse somewhere in the city. The three of us, we gotta go. We gotta get a nice Wagyu ribeye. It melts in your mouth.
where is the best Wagyu in Toronto? Like, where can we find Wagyu that will put us over the top? Look into it.
Yeah, look into that because I want to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
I need to go.
All right,
For one
can-
year, I had Wagyu for instead of turkey for Thanksgiving. It was honestly one of the best Thanksgivings that I have ever had.
Not the whole family and everyone being together. It was the Wagyu that
It
put
was
it
the
over the top.
Wagyu. I put it over
Can
the
you
top.
show Hideki's dessert one more time? Throw that back up there, Joe. I want to see the dessert because I guarantee you this is a rock star dessert.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Japanese
Look at
strawberry
that.
shortcake. That's what I'm
No, it's
talking
called
about.
fluffy sponge cake with whipped cream,
And a Mau strawberries.
Dude.
That is,
That's worthy of a champion's dinner. That's
And-
not a chocolate chip cookie from,
you break
Oh,
up with your own
100%.
hands.
yeah, like exactly. Winn-Dixie's chocolate chip cookie. That's legit from Decky.
By
That
the way,
I support.
we didn't even
That's
talk
why it's
about the
number one.
miso glazed black cod. That is probably delicious.
And it's probably like $50 a plate.
And I
minimum.
guarantee you that guy said, for anybody that doesn't know, the player pays for all of this.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This is not like they hand over a menu to the golf course and say, get this stuff brought here.
No, that's the whole thing. They pay for it and like all the wine because you know some of the guys
Are
like
getting
stads and
tanked.
they're like another bottle of whatever you have and make sure it's on Decky or whoever's winning. Now, no one's going to sympathize or lose any sleep over these guys having to pay for it. They're all worth so much money.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like that idea as number one. Okay, Alice, brother, this is your moment though.
It
This
better
is-
be on one of those Masters cards, like the presentation that we've just seen for the King Daddy Topper, Al's brother, what you would serve.
This
Do you
is
think I am some sort of amateur?
okay.
Mr. Dog?
Okay?
Let's go.
see it.
This is
the-
Augusta level eatery
all right.
that you're about to see right here.
Take us through everything you've got.
So for me, the appetizer, picture this, little mingle.
Buffalo chicken bites?
Little mingle. Everyone's walking around.
I
The
like that.
server's on a plate.
I
There's
support it.
buffalo chicken bites with a truffle blue cheese dip, bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers, and caprese skewers. Oh, I love a good caprese skewer.
Very,
Let
very
me
quality.
tell ya.
Very, very quality. Okay, Alice, brother, I like that appy.
Everyone
Good
sits
start.
down. You sit down, you start your dinner, and out comes the soup. Little soup and salad action.
Not
a soup guy?
I like a soup, but
Hey,
it's
let
hot
him be.
down there,
This
man.
is his menu.
30 degrees. It's hot. Go ahead. It's your soup.
Soup and salad for me, and I am flying in the top chef from Royal Caribbean. Shout out, good cruise line. The mushroom soup on that boat
You loved it.
is the greatest soup that has ever touched this mouth.
You're telling
That
me
Greatest
Damn
soup.
statement.
you're going to serve Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player with soup from a cruise.
And
It is.
shout
Is that
out
what you
and
just
say,
told
hey,
me?
fellas, this is my guy Larry from Caribbean Cruises.
Head
Get the menu
chef,
back up. We got to see
head
the rest of
chef
it.
for the Caribbean cruise
All right,
line.
continue.
Followed by a nice salad, arugula, tomato, and burrata with roasted pistachios on top.
Okay.
Gives it a little crunch. It's beautiful.
Main course, please. Let's go.
We're getting a surf and turf. Wagyu ribeye.
Yes.
A la Hideki Matsuyama.
I love it.
With a Nova Scotian lobster with whipped mashed potatoes and garlic parmesan grilled asparagus with a little charred corn salad on the side.
Okay, I can support that.
I can support it all.
I can definitely support that. This is championship worthy. Now take us home, Alice, brother. This is very important that you land this.
Put it in fifth gear and take it home.
Take it home on the dessert.
So obviously, I'm known for the charcuterie. And I thought, why don't we do a little charcuterie dessert board? Got a little 5-pack on the board. Got a little mini cannoli, tiramisu, a zeppoli with a little powdered sugar on it. My Italians know what I'm talking about there.
Okay.
Gelato ice cream, your choice. Pistachio, vanilla, or a chocolate hazelnut.
Wow, I love it.
And at the end, you get a nice cappuccino with a biscotti.
You can't beat that dessert, man.
I think Stads would just plow his face into that dessert and he screamed and just say, I love that.
I think he would too. Him, Patrick Reed, Woozy, all the boys would be getting together.
Burn his face and blast it in the butler cabin saying, bring me more dessert.
Al's brother, you should be like a sommelier for Champions dinners. Like, Scheffler should be flying you in to run this whole operation.
I mean,
I think this is a side gig.
The champions should all run their menu through him, and
Yeah.
he should go down there and be the master. Fred Ridley Jr. and I run the food and beverage.
Just taking over the whole operation. You and the cruise line guy.
well,
You and your pal Larry from the cruise.
we can get in touch with people at the Masters, whoever ends up winning this year.
Yes.
They can get in touch with my people,
Okay.
and we can figure something out for next year. We'll put together
I love it.
this menu and serve it at the 2026 Champions Dinner.
Okay. It's been established, Al's brother, with the ultimate Champions dinner, and I love all of it except for the soup. I got to push back on the soup, but outside of that, I think you absolutely crushed it.
You've never had the soup.
I've
Once
never
you
had
have
that
the soup,
specific.
you'll change
I've
your
never
mind.
been on a cruise either. So once I go on the cruise, have the soup, maybe my life will be changed.
OD
forever.
from a cruise? Question mark?
I like it.
N.
Mike Johnson, confirm or deny coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.